Hello and welcome, as it is the 7th day of March 2020. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel. All bets, trades of alike, that's within each his own risk and their own reward. Let's start off with the Theta cross against Bitcoin. Currently in at 1,550 Satoshi against Bitcoin. And this is day number 4. And which is holding and supporting above and at, and barely below, I suppose, the 18 average of highs. Rising, it has been nowhere near this nicely rising lows. It has been also spending those 4 days at this little area. We can see it's been resisting in here, and it broke out above it on February 24th, but obviously not able to hold it too long, as it 2 days coming right back at that point, making matching and nice lows within the 18 of such. I like how it's breaking out above this. But I've been talking about this for quite some time. I mean, it's been like, oh yeah, this thing's ready to go. I mean, you can see here, March the 4th, March the 3rd, yeah, breaking out. None of that, but the setup continues to look more and more fantastic. I mean, this thing, as I look at this, especially as all the stuff I've talked about for so long, this thing just looks ready to pop. I mean, like an unskinny pop almost. Like, unskinny pop. I mean, it blows me away. Unskinny bop, nothing more to say. Now, there's a song that I used to like called Unskinny Bop, but I always thought it was pop, but just by the sounds of it, it was a tape that I had. Yeah, back then it was tapes, and then CDs. I think it was this song even around the 80s? It might have been early 90s, I gotta think. But what's got you so jumpy? Why can't you sit still? Yeah, question mark. Why aren't you so jumpy? Why are you just staying still, Theta? Well, it looks like, I mean, for days and days, this thing looks like it's going to go, but it's going to just be wild, I think, when this happens to go off. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, and it could be in April, it seems. I mean, it's April. I mean, why is this taking so slow to break out? I might be wrong about it not doing it, but it seems as if it's going to happen. Back to those lyrics. Like gasoline, you want to pump me and leave me when you get your fill, yeah. Now, it's funny when I think about just stuff like song parodies, Cletus T. Judd and stuff like that. When you look at least on the trading aspect, when you get your fill, your market fill orders kind of thing. Every time I touch you, honey, you get hot. I want to make love you never stop. Come up for air. You push me to the floor. Now, this line here is the one that has always, for years and decades, I never thought that was the line. I thought that was what's going on, Aunt Hitty. Aunt, like your aunt kind of deal, because that's what it sounds like on the song. But as far as the whole thing, it's going to be like, yeah, nothing more to say when this whole basically thing, the whole system, if you will, goes down. And right now I'm 33 seconds into this video. It says Market Contagion and Deflation Gold and Silver Update by Mike Maloney. And he's already saying, yeah, this is the event. This is it kind of deal. And it wouldn't surprise me if it is. And I'll be watching the rest of this video probably later on in the morning. It's 9:21 a.m. on the Saturday morning as I'm doing this. But just a quick little update. If you're not familiar with this, Mike has been someone basically I've been following for quite some time. And as far as money economics is concerned, I mean, he's the only guy I could even consider recommending to anyone, which is, I guess, sort of what I'm doing. But it's really more so on the fact, again, like I say, it's the only one I personally would trust or like to follow. And the charts that came up a few days ago, just fantastic. Better. I mean, stuff like I used to do it, but much more better than I could do. And I mean, it was like, wow, I mean, damn, you did a good job. Let me just go to that video. And is it this one here? This one here. Market Currency Obliviation. There's just a lot of damn good charts. Some of the stuff I had fun doing, like style charts back in 2014-ish time frame. He's been doing this pretty much all the time as well. But damn good charts, damn good information. And there we go. Back to the charts again. Here we go. Theta. So 1562 is the price, and It's breaking out above this 18 average of highs very, very nice. And as I've been mentioning at the start, just how it's been doing those things, staying there, it's just a beautiful setup. When I just take a look at this on multiple time frames, I even see this nice little sell-off that, I mean, it didn't go too much below this low, and it technically barely went above this one, but it recovered it very, very nicely. How did it react to it? Well, this sideways move to this after the quick rally jump from the intra period. Rallies further into the 18, holds it with a nice gain, and then the previous hour, 4 o'clock stamp. This started at 7, it's 9:23, so 36 minutes to go. So it's pretty much a pause period unless something happens in the final 36 minutes. But very productive one on a bullish level. Holding, it's the, we had a little bit here that held and stayed above the 18, or the Fibonacci line. It didn't get above the highs at that. So this to me shows just within this period that next 1, 2, 3 following has a damn good chance of having productive gains. Within this one in here, we had these resistance bars getting above here on the 7 stamp, all of these in here. Now it's managed to come up to the lows. It's supporting the general area, because this wasn't supporting this when it was coming up here on these few periods. It was coming up to it, resisting it, piercing above. Now it's came barely above it. It's pulling back to this multiple hit area, 1540 that is. And now if this continues to go higher, this to me looks on the 1 hour time frame most certainly poised and ready to go. 1 hour, there's just that 15 minute rather fantastic move breaking above it, and it's short-term correctionary phase. So short-term we see on the 1 hour, well, hey, it looks like it's breaking out. Yeah, it does, but on the 15, what I really need to see is this thing to really come in and get above 1580, 1582. So maybe if I'm looking for a break above here, I'd like to see it go up just a little bit further kind of deal. Get above these levels of resistance, but it does look as if that is going to happen. Okay, so let's look. Tezos has got a very interesting setup as well. Let's put that one up next. Started off within its daily chart. Don't got so many days, but we're getting more and more. And right off the bat, I was surprised right in here. I just did all this nothing much action at the start when it came onto Binance. But, oh, it's been moving ever since these lows in here. Nice little rally up to the 2,500 point down in here. And then, as I stated, well, 4,000. Well, let's have some fun with this. Especially now that I fixed my calculator. Because what was pissing me off with this, with the new Windows and everything, is I was so missing this X to the Y, so I found it on here. So I can do calculations so fast, which is like damn cool. But let's just see. So this is what we're going to do. We have a high of 2585. 2585. Let's find the divide button on here now. Right here. I mean, this is what I learned as a kid. I'm looking for that D, like the uptrend line, which is divide. Because that's what you put on your computer. Anyway, let's divide this by the low, which is in here to find what that's the 856. And I'm doing multiple calculations to get the numbers that I want. So I'm finding the move of the range, which is a move that was 3x basically. And I kind of could have done that in my head if I wanted to, I suppose. But we put that to the root of 0.382, which is a 61.8% down move, or 38% up. Multiply that same low, which is about like 850-ish or so. So multiply 850 gives me 1296. So let's do this all over again. Where's the clear? This is CE, but that, I guess that clears everything. E? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section if that's the case. 2563 into 1300. So that would be about almost 2. 2600 divided by 13. So 2. So that's the number I'm looking for. The upside Fibonacci. So high divided by fib level, which is 2, to the root of the Fibonacci. So if I do this by 1.618, this should come near 4, because that's what I calculated before. And then I times that by the low of near 1300. Yeah, 3990. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do that same thing again, but we're going to do the 261.8% Fibonacci level now. So we're going to do 2xy 2.618 And I like all this because my memory sucks. And I could, oh, there's that 1300 number that I've totally forgotten. I love that. Just on there. It's totally cool. So multiply that by 1300. Next upside target comes in at 8,000. Okay, that doesn't do good to me. After that, let's just see. Okay, 8,000. What's the 4.23 then? Let's take a look at that. And I can take a look at another method too, see what happens there. But if it's 8,000, then it's 8,000. So then 2 to the root of 4.23 multiply 1,300, 25,000. So yeah, you know what? That could make a little interesting sense. Maybe have like a small next kind of move that would go to 8,000, and then like a blow off huge move top, maybe to 25. That would be pretty damn cool if that were to come into play. But let's do this again another way. Let's find out the sixth, because it didn't again. I mean, look at this empty. Oh, actually, I already know the number here. I got, or do I? This is no high and low. So 4,100 to 1,485. So 15, 3, 14, 28, 42. That's about 3x. Not quite. So 2.7, I would guess. Two 2.4, 2.8, yes, 2.7 right off the bat. All right, so 2.8 is its move. That's the high to low. So then what I want to do is I want to root that number to the 31.8 again, 38.2%. And then I multiply it by its low, which I forgot, which is going to calculate, is going to tell me, I think. No, it's right this low. So we have high, this low here, for 1,500. Or 15,000, either way, handle. So that comes up to 222. So now what I want to do is I want to take what number we got? 4,100 divided by 22. So that's almost 2. We'll just do 1.9. And then we'll root it to 1.618. And multiply this by that low number, which would be, the 22 number. And it comes to 6,000. So 6,000 very short term, 8,000 more intermediate term. So I would even think and they pierce extra, so 10,000 makes sense. So I'd say 10 and 30,000 would make the most sense for where we would be heading on a break of that resistance. And I'm going to say both sorry and you're welcome for taking that time to go through that information, because that took a lot of time. A lot of people don't even understand it, and a couple of you do, and a couple of you will end up understanding that in time. And you're welcome, because that information is damn good. I think it was going to be just as good as this 4,000 was. I mean, we'll see. But as this chart goes right now on the daily chart from this 3 days and this 18, it's really damn productive right now, especially in how well it corrected. I mean, only spent one short period amount of time. We'll take a look at that now in say the 3 hour. How much time did it spend? Like just this, it's pretty much a straight move down, straight move up. And the furthest it went to down from this high was in here, and then it never came back since, albeit close on this one. But from this one in here, we come up to this level here, nice correcting within the 18 lows. Have I reminded you how much I like using the 18 average of highs and lows? And pretty much it's only this and Fibonacci that I practically use as indicators. Yeah, of course you know that. And then we have this beautiful support in here, and right now it's been correcting extremely well still within this last move higher. It had an attempt on this period to go up, but it pulled back. Still no fast move lower. It's still holding well. And a lot of this is just people that know, see it going ready. The big boys aren't ready to buy it up. And that's just going to always happen. The market's going to go up because okay style buyers are buying. People with maybe maybe not 5, but 6 figures, maybe not quite 7, buying it up. And that's just going to bring it. And then, of course, nothing's going to sustain their buy because they're not putting in extra buy orders to try to maintain price higher, stuff like that. So it's just going to bring it back to where it came from, which could be the case in this situation. Then just later on, oh boy, it just goes off. And while getting it above here, we still have this next price level at 4,000 that we'd be going to next. And I've already calculated those levels, breaking it above that. So what do we got for time? 15 minutes? Yeah, I got a bit more time to do stuff. I haven't even talked about Bitcoin yet. Isn't even really doing much, 9,100. Alrighty, let's see here. 3 hour time. Yeah. This is a 3 hour chart. Nice, formidable, little volatile sideways action. Oh, the stock market and the traditional markets and cryptos. Do they trade together within high and low volatility? No, they don't. Hourly time frame. Okay, and even how the lower volatility even shrinks. And I'll just when you look at it from this point of view. First off, it extends this low, and just a little mad move from like a good move rally here. That's all. That's only the profit taking that it is. Obviously, not even coming close to where it came from here. And then it comes down further on this one, but yet again, it still doesn't technically come back to where it came from, and that was the low. And well, that low got upgraded, and then it got upgraded again here, and so far it still hasn't even went down below that. The highs. Well, I guess they're pretty solid in at 9,167. Not much more to say about that. Let's go to the Bitcoin dominance. And we are looking at the daily chart. I put these Fibonacci lines in. They kind of, whatever. I don't even know why I put them in. I don't even know why. Maybe I just wrote the lines in here. And I'm not the type of person that likes to put Fibonacci on BTCD, so I don't know why these lines are here. I did put them in, though, because no one else has access to this computer. Anyway, with that being said, we have this just hanging in there from this rally from the lows. It's managed to get above the 18 average of highs, previous level of support, but since falling from there, we can make little downtrendish lines, but this massive support at this line drawn in has been just that, massive and support, and is so far held. But the 18 average of lows is coming into play. If I see weakness amongst this move and I see it breaking down below it, hey, you know what? This thing is going to probably get down not only to the low at 62, at least on this base number, and then probably down to 57 and wherever else below that is the most likely play. But at least an area next, like a key leg lower, I'd be looking at for support. And are these bullshit and bear shit? Bullshit's up and the bear shit down, because that's been going on for days. And yes, this has been an interesting fund. I could bet it if I wanted to, I suppose, because I went to FTX and I looked at the Trump and all the stuff like the Biden and the Bernie funds and stuff like that, and then it says Canadians and Americans and so many other major nations prohibited from doing it. It's like, okay, don't want to do it. Then I thought, do I play these ones here? And I'm thinking, well, if I'm going to play these extra ETF funds, why bother? I can just go on Binance and just pick away at like the Ripple and the Ethereum bull and bear 3x funds is what it is, because it's just extra volatility. But this is also a gauge to how these lower end coins are collectively doing. So I like this as an index. I'm a big fan of this. So here we see on the hourly time frame consistently how the altcoins are just doing very well, which is really good to see. And then the volatility in here, we can see this is a low of 12,777. It's pretty much doubled now, almost. And this doubling is just a portion of its move from this fall from here to here. And it's, I can't explain it. But in so many normal speech mechanisms that I've been going through for the last few days, all the things that I used to call bullshit, I sometimes am calling bear shit now, just or whatever, just randomly. I don't know. Just it is what it is, whatever. But this one is breaking down, and look at the move on this, 29 to 14, losing half of its value. And then before this, I mean, its rally was like 7,600 up to 14. So there's a double move. Then 14,000 down to 1,000. So holding these things long term, or even just my old school, like not old school, current school for me still. Buy low, sell high. Just buy. Just wait for them to go down. You buy. When they go up, you sell. No, I don't think these ones are ones you'd want to do it with. These are ones you want to get in and out for the moves. Anything really short term, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15-minute time frame, that's all good. But if you're looking for a particular play, like you can see here, this down move, you've been crushed doing it. Here, if you were to buy this in November and hold it into the end of the month, and you got it for the move, then it worked out. And if you're thinking about maybe I want to put stop losses in play, you can see your risk here. One good move got it from 8,000, better than double, but from that high, it's like, again, it's losing like almost 20 times its value. So this is from the November highs to these lows. So the opposite end, let's bring that back up again. Okay, so from these November lows of 400, it went up. Well, you know what? Not wow. I mean, that was so it lost like it lost what was it? 18, 20 times, 16, 20. Yeah, this one here from the November lows 433 to 3,700. Well, I need 4,300 for a 10x move. So an 8x move or so was the length of this play. But we can see here how if you held it for a significant period of time on this end, it would have worked out if you. There's just a lot of profit potential. It's like you buy in here at even if you're just exiting the 8,000. If you profit take at 1,500 for some, so be it. It's great. If you profit take some at 2,000, okay. Your profits take some at 2,600, great. Your profit takes some at 3,600, great. Your profit takes some at 4,500. No, it didn't get there. But I'm just saying that because it sounds so easy to profit take at 45 or 3,500, but it also sounds so easy to profit take 4,500 on the way up. And as well, if your profit took at 1,800 and you got your profits, there's nothing wrong with profits, especially kick-ass profits. Oh, I just increased this bet 50, 60%, so be it. And then if you end up going long on here at like whatever 1,000, you're selling on the way down at 2,000, 1,800 because you want to protect your profits and you don't want this huge thing to destroy you on the way down. Okay, well, I'm sure a lot of people are going to be doing strategies of that nature. There's just going to be a lot of volatility. How these things work out. And again, these things are, I don't got my keyboard near me, so I'm not going to get it up handy now. But Ethereum, Ripple, I think there's another one, EOS, I don't know which one. But the 3X funds give you just very good day trading moves. And I want to talk about this whole ratio trading. And let's do Hedera hash graph because it's been interesting. Let's find one of them. Let's go, let's do PivX just because it's a code. So 6 up to 25, down to 5, up to 11. Right now it's at 6.3. Bitcoin Cash and Tezos is pretty interesting too as well. I used to put arrows in when I was trading, then I stopped. But you pretty much, I sold on the way up, bought on the way down, and well, it was 111. It got up to 265. Now it's back down. Yada, yada, yada. Okay. If there's any coins that you want to mention, the cross, I can divide anything by anything on here, so I can put any ratio on. Let me know like different individual specific questions, but obviously amongst my strength. You're not going to ask a scientist who's going to win an NBA game tonight, although I know a little bit about NBA. So I don't want any questions about fundamentals at all. Fundamentals to me can not be asked because I will not answer them. So if you ask them, whatever, I'm not going to answer anything. If I say, oh, I think they look good, or the people say they look good. There's a lot of people on here that have talked a lot about Chainlink before and how big it is. So I'm just small betting it right now against Ethereum. But whatever on that, as far as it being good. Hedera hash graph, maybe I can talk about it too. So we had this open going down, long decline. How these lines just do what it does, it's luck. It's literally luck. That's all it is. What's also luck is the fact that they keep doing it. So anyway, so we have it getting out above the 18, a fantastic move on the daily. It might come back down either via timer price to this newly rising 18. It might. I don't know. If it does, it does. Within the 3-hour term, after this beautiful move, it comes back down with a good correction. Really, it doesn't get much accomplished on this rally, but it sort of does. Back down to where it came from in here sort of again. But just a lot of sideways consolidation as it goes. And because of that, as I see it here, daily time frame, as I mentioned, maybe we could have a decent pullback of like 10, 15, 20% of the low 500s to meet up with the 18 in some areas where we came from, but maybe it doesn't. And as far as breaking out, I mean, I almost got to see this, needs to see this get above these highs at least, if not even over 7, for me to say that this has got a good standing chance of breaking out. Like if we get above 670, then we talk about testing like up in this upper end of resistance, maybe a pierce above, hence why I say 7. And it's a lot of volatility and a lot of whatever, because if it breaks down from here, now we got this previous tested area of 594, we got this fib and pierce below and previous low of 574. And then if that fails, then ultimately we talk about the 500, really maybe even down to the 460, 465 area. Because if 465 gets tested on the daily, well, then that would most likely coincide with the 18 average of lows in a few days. So it's just, I'd have to just wait and see on the whole aspect. And it works out well based on how my ratio trades with all this workout. Because if it does come back down here, sweet, I'll get buybacks. I'll sell with the other coins for H-bar, and I'll just wait for the next move. And if this starts breaking out, I'm going to need to have a move above this anyway for me to have, a spectacular move. Because if it breaks out above this, and especially with this being like quote-unquote a huge shitcoin type of establishment, although it's doing pretty decent in the rankings on the coin market cap, it's, with that being stated, throwing that aside, these types of coins, all of them at that rank, like what, 50, 60, 70th rank or whatever it happens to be. I don't know if it's 40, whatever. It's doing good though. But if it has this phenomenal break, having like, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 style moves so fast, so furious, is not a surprise. Hence a big reason why I'm playing coins like this and why I chose this one. A lot of it has got to do with that Mike Maloney again. It was Hidden Secrets of Money, I think 7 or 8, where the one about cryptocurrencies, and the later half of it was to do with Hedera Hashgraph. So I watched that video. I'm like, yeah, if I have a chance to get into it, I will. And that chance took not only nearly a year, but nearly a year. Not quite a full, but nearly 1 year time for me to get it. Access to it. And I see it, it's available on Bittrex, so I buy it. Now it's available on Binance, and now it's available on Bittrex for me still. So that is where I have it. Now I like Bittrex better because I'm holding it there, and I don't like the Binance rule. I do and I don't, where all their orders cannot be greater than 5x. So if you're playing on Binance right now, and the price is like 621, the highest you can put a sell order for is like 3,100. And the biggest or the lowest buy order you can put in is like 130ish or so now. So you can't put a buy order in for 100 on Binance. You can't sell it for 6,000 on Binance. But on Bittrex, I can put a buy order for 1 Satoshi. I can put a buy order or sell order for 75,000 or 1,000,000 Satoshi or 20.2. I don't expect anyone to sell it, but I kind of, if I'm looking to just hold them long term and go for major crazy ass moves, and not only that, but diversification within exchanges. I have, I think, 6-7% of my total crypto net value on exchanges, or 93%, and this number fluctuates on a day-to-day, hour-by-hour level based on price and trades. 92-94% maybe in private key ownership. And then, of course, when you include cryptos plus precious metals, all my precious metals are held by me in my physical possession. So that's how I like it. So I have a bit on Binance and a bit on Bittrex. This way it's diversification amongst exchanges. So I thought, let's have Hedera Hashgraph trade on the Bittrex side of the ball, and have other things like and different trades go on Binance. And sometimes when I make trades on there, maybe I'll buy some Bitcoin Cash or some Tezos, and I'm like, I just bought some Tezos. I don't want to withdraw. If I get a bunch more, I will. But let's keep a little bit on there. Alright, let's just wrap this up now. Again, there's a lot of these Different, like a lot of things happened this last week. Oil had a huge drop. Actually, I'm going to talk about oil. I'm going to do an oil video because I remember looking at that yesterday and I'm thinking, yeah, I got to make a video on it. I don't have access to my keyboard, which I mean, I'm going to have to save the file name on this, but that means I'm going to push the stop button. I have to get up and get my keyboard. Anything else I want to look at? I mean, gold and silver. I mean, gold just hung in there for the day on Friday. And I mean, you can see 10 o'clock came back up and yeah, hung in there, but I'm going to have a lot to talk about this daily chart. If you want to talk about a kick-ass setup in here, holy shit, I love this one. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my goodness, this is... If there's ever... Okay, if you're looking for setups and you're damn picky, you only want the best ones you can find. And volatility might throw a little bit of this aside, but just as far as probability odds and all that type of stuff, but... You come up to this key Fibonacci point that I talked about, it seems years ago, but months ago. And then it did not come back to Fib, but it did come back deep to where it came from. And it did go down below the 18 of lows. Not only did it hold and stay above it, but within that, it went well below it. It had one period where it resisted, it pulled back. And then the next period, it just dominates. Domination, baby. It just goes right up to this... high. So this is a preview of what we're going to be talking about later this weekend. And then you pause it for a period. Oh, sweet deal. Oh, what do we do after? Oh, we rally higher on the daily. Okay. And it rallies closing pretty much at that fib level. And what do we do on the Friday session? Well, we had that session where it goes down below it. That was the intraday move that comes down to the 18 average of highs where we came from. Okay, how do you do? And then it rallies up to this point in here. This is poised to continue on to, I think, for yet another beautiful leg higher. And there's nothing stopping this monthly time frame. But I'll talk more about that later on in a separate video as well. Have yourself a great weekend. Bye-bye.